Hola, boa noite, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club. Let's bring those wine ninjas on now, shall we, for our tasting number 20 this week. Our host this week, Rachel and Frank, how are you guys doing?
Doing well. How about you? Hey,
Yeah.
Penny. Hey.
Looking forward. Penny's here as well. Gaz and Linda coming on the screen now. How you guys doing?
Hi.
Hi, folks.
And Mr. Mystery, Alentejo. No pictures yet. We should never know, Neil. May or may not be a blessing with that, depending on what state of dress he is in. But we'll wait and see. We'll mute his mic as well, just so he doesn't say anything inappropriate. Looking forward to this one tonight. Rachel and Frank, would you like to give us an introduction to this fine fermentation that you found for us?
Sure. So today we are going to be talking about the Dom Rafael Tinto, made by Herdade do Mochão in the Alentejo. And I was very interested about this wine because they make this wine following the same old method that they followed 100 years ago when they first started this winery. And I have my cheat sheet here, so sorry if I am looking down a little bit.
Don't you worry.
So at this winery, all the grapes are handpicked. Do you have that image, Carl?
I most certainly do. And I think Neil is having trouble with his tackle again tonight. But we will. That's not the right one, is it? There we go. That's what you want to see, isn't it, Rachel?
Yes. So this is a tray that they use. All the grapes are planted in their farm, and they handpick the grapes, and the team select the grapes by hand a little bit, take them on these trays to the winery. So it's like maximum 1 hour from the time the grapes are picked to when they arrive at the winery. And they do a little bit more selection by hand. And then, next photo, please. So then the grapes go into these baskets and to be crushed. And they are crushed by hand still to this day. Next one.
Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Sorry. A slip of the wrist there. Wrong one. There we go. The modern day crushing. Yeah.
Yes. So from the baskets, the grapes are transferred to these huge vats. They are called lagars, and they are foot trodden. And they do this twice per day for 6 to 8 days. And this process, this is how the first fermentation happens. At the end of 8 days, the fermentation is completed. And then next photo, please.
Oh, forgive me. Just running through again. There we go.
Next. There. So, then they transfer. Oops, one. Yes. So after the first fermentation, they transfer the young wine to these huge caskets. I also got lost here. Yes.
That's so beautiful, though, isn't it? What an amazing place. That looks like one of those glamping units. They should turn that into a little sort of cabin.
Yeah. So the second fermentation happens in these huge caskets, and the grape for about 3 months. They leave the young wine here. After 3 months, they filter. And they put the wine in smaller wood caskets where they ferment, they stay and age for between 12 to 18 months, and then they are bottled and they age again in the bottle for about 6 months before going to the market. About this this process is the same process for all the wines that they make at this winery. This wine, Dom Rafael, is their entry-level wine. They are very well known, and their other wines are very high-end. So since this one goes through the same process, I have very good hopes about it.
For sure.
It's made with 4 grapes. It's 30% Aragonês, 30% Trincadeira, 30% Castelão, and 10% Alicante Boucher. The other wines that are more high-end wines that they make are 100% Alicante Boucher, which is their signature grape. This grape is originally from France, and the gentleman who first started this winery in the 1800s brought this grape to Alentejo specifically. All these grapes, these 4 grapes that wine is made of, come from old vines that are minimum 20 years old. And this wine has 14% alcohol content. And this vintage 2016 and also the 2015 one, they are known to be very good vintages because the winters, both these years, were dry and mild. So based on what I've read, the tasting notes are that this wine is mature, good tannins, dry, balanced acidity, notes of berries, dark chocolate, oak, and it has a medium to long finish. So I guess now let's try and see what we think.
Woohoo! Can we say hello to a few people who've joined us tonight? Ken's here again. Good on you, Ken. Hello, bon night from Ken. Malcolm, good on you too. Good evening from Malcolm and Christina Caballero. Do you have the exact brew? That's the question we need to know from everybody. Safiro Bonoid, hello to you, Safiro. Good on you for being here again. Steve Welton, hello everybody. Eric J in the States, good evening from North Carolina. Black Box Malbec for me tonight. That sounds like a good choice. Ken is loving the mute grey label. It's classic but modern. And Anna, who has also just pot-footed it over from the webinar. Hello again, Anna. Hola a todos a Montevideo for me. So in Switzerland, but with a Portuguese wine there. Who among you ninjas has got the actual brew this evening?
We do.
Fantastic. Gary and Linda. But where's Mr. Alentejo himself? Well done, Gary and Linda. Penny, did you manage it?
No, I've got something. I think, is this the same maker, Rachel?
Oh, I think actually this gentleman is a winemaker at this winery, I believe.
Right. This one is slightly different. It's got very similar grapes, -1, but it's partly. I think its first fermentation is in stainless steel, and then they move to oak after that.
Okay.
So it's probably cheaper.
Malcolm has got the right one. Which is great to know. Sadly, I haven't again. And I do think there's some sort of Bairrada business going on here. I think Bairrada is a bit regionalist. And they, even in the continent, they don't like stocking. I mean, you saw the picture I sent you of the Alentejo selection. But I've struggled for the last few weeks to get the exact wine, even though, you know, it's advertised in continent. So I think there is a little bit of a Bairrada rivalry going on. The closest I've managed to find is a different brother. That'll be a Dom Martinho. This is the Bacalhau from the Alentejo, and I've got a few of the grapes, so I can enjoy a similar sort of grape selection to you. I've got Aragonês, Trincadeira and the Alicante Boucher in here, but I've also got a bit of Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's a 2017. So I'm close to you, but I'm sorry, I couldn't get exactly the right one.
Yeah, this is a very good problem to have.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yes, and you know what was really nice is I did a massive after I was really sort of on one this morning talking about the economy and how it's important to support little shops and local shops. So I went to my local cafe. I think I took you there, and I bought it in the cafe, and I was really glad to find a nice Alentejo in a local village store. So I feel good on all sorts of levels with this one tonight. Tammy and I are drinking the Big Ode Red Blend. We were not able to find the wine choice of the day, says Steve Welton. Ours is from the Lisbon area. Good on you, though, for attempting that, Steve, and enjoy yours. I'm taking notes. It's been a while since I've done any wine testing, says Ken. And look at that. Perfect timing. Just as the tasting is about to start, Alan himself joins us on the screen. Alan, are you there? He's not. He's being coy tonight, isn't he? Very coy. Back to you, Rachel, if you care to lead the tasting for us.
So let's. Okay.
That's a beautiful smelling wine. That is gorgeous.
Definitely some red berries. So dark. From what I read, the Alicante Boucher grape gives very dark color, and one interesting thing is that this grape also has a red flesh. Not only the outside is red; it's inside too.
Inside.
Yeah.
Can we sit?
Yes.
That's a pretty special glass you got there, Penny.
I've got my best glasses out tonight. Just for you, Rachel. Best glass.
Thank you, Penny. Wow, this is so good. I love it.
This is good as well.
Wow.
And same here. Fantastic blend. This is a good start to the evening. We have Neil. Neil, aka Alan. Sorry, guys, camera not online. Watching and enjoying the wine. So, Neil, I think you can hear us. Do please chip in via the comments. Be great to hear from you. And Ken's loving your glass as well there, Penny. And Eduardo Bonoit from Brazil. Great explanation, Rachel. Thanks.
Obrigada, Eduardo.
Okay. So who else wishes to go deeper into their comments about these?
That is just lovely. That's lovely.
It's got like very heavy berry taste.
Yeah. So over here at the Vivian website, they say blackberries and red berries like plums, cherries, raspberry, oak, vanilla, tobacco, some chocolate, no?
Yeah.
Bit spice, a little bit of spice.
A little bit of spice, definitely, yes.
Yeah, mine too. Shall I
Carlo,
read you
are you getting a very bold taste on this one?
Shall I read you the tasting notes for mine? Because it's very similar to yours, except for the stainless steel bit. And to be honest, sometimes I find the oaky stuff a bit too heavy for me. A lady reaches a certain age where that heavy oak stuff is not so good. But
Yeah.
so I was quite interested to see how the stainless steel bit went. Anyway, mine says aroma of ripe plums, definitely black fruits, spices, Linda, a set with freshness, structured of irreverent young tannins, without losing the seduction of the warm Alentejo lands.
Wow.
This suits me fine, this one. It's really nice.
Yes, it's really nice. I need more.
Yeah, it's got a very bold taste to it.
And it's very well balanced. I like it. There is a little bit of acidity.
That's the chocolate.
Really, really nice. a little bit
Yeah.
of tannin.
And it has a very strong finish, which I like.
Mhm.
Matron.
Actually, the finish is quite fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's quite fruity.
Who doesn't love a fruity finish, eh? We're never far. We're never far from innuendo, are we? And the Rachel and Frank household there in Lisbon. What are your pairing ideas with this one, Frank?
With this one, I would do something gamey because it's got a very heavy, a bold taste to it. Something gamey would go very well with this.
I
Yeah.
think that this wine definitely asks for food. It's and I think a steak would be great.
Steak would be great.
Yeah.
Steak would be great, but I would even go as far as doing like a nice lamb rack. It would be very, very nice with this. What are you thinking, Garbo?
Wild boar or
I'm thinking that this wine is right up my street. This wine is me. This is everything about a wine I love. It's
Wow.
strong, it's bold, it's personal, it's making me just want to just get in there and swim around. It's lovely. It's beautiful.
Like those guys in the picture.
Fine choice there, Rachel. Fine choice.
Very good.
Gary, you could volunteer to go mash the grapes, and then you can go for a swimming.
There's Gary next year in the Alentejo.
Gary in the middle there.
You know when they say going for a knees up? Well, I think that's what they mean.
Yeah, that is Gary in the middle there, isn't it, Linda? We'd recognise that pert little bottom anywhere.
Yeah, definitely him in the middle.
And that
What
makes
like hygiene conditions in there? I'm wondering, like, what is required off of these people as far as like, do they need to like clip their nails or like, you know?
oh,
I was talking toe cheese here, by the way.
A verruca check, maybe.
Please stop.
The alcohol in it
Come on, you
will
lot.
disinfect it.
Yeah, I don't think anything stands a chance in there. That should be the new vaccine for the COVID, obviously, shouldn't it? It could overcome that mulch there. Probably can overcome most things. And what I'm concerned about is that is that like a swimming pool ladder that they're climbing up and down over on the right of the picture?
No, I think
It's
it's a hose. It's a hose.
Yeah, it looks like a
It is.
pipe.
I hope it's on his Zimmer frame.
It's that Zimmer frame on the end, right?
The third guy from
Okay.
left looks a bit shady. Like, I wonder what he's doing.
And if you do this, if you say to your wife that you're going to work on a conference for the weekend, but you're actually treading grapes, there's no getting away from it when you take your trousers off when you get home, is there?
Absolutely not.
Red. Up to the,
What have you
the
been doing?
windows.
I can explain. Amazing. That's I think Gary's Christmas present sorted out. That outfit, Linda.
Yeah.
A nice carrot picture and some bottom hugging jogging shorts or something like that.
Okay, Ken, your turn. What did you think?
Whose turn, sorry?
You.
Oh, okay. Well, I read the tasting notes and I would absolutely agree. To me, this is really nice because it's not heavily oaked, but it's got a lot of body. It's just really smooth. It's just beautiful, really beautiful. I would probably go for something quite smoked or wild boar or something like that with this. Something really quite meaty. Sorry for you vegans out there. Gary, be quiet.
Gary, honestly. This is I'm sharing. I'm sharing.
Yay.
It's like
Don't say that, you might be worse.
a glass of his favourite red. Look at it. Full of black fruit, still high in alcohol, said Neil, which will almost be mistaken for acidity. I think it will keep for a while yet. To me, it actually tastes like it is younger than it actually is. Very nice. Happy to drink regularly, though I think it will actually improve. Interesting. Neil often has the long-term view on these, doesn't he? Laying them down, he calls it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he also adds nothing like wine in your eye as well. I don't know what he's referring to there. Ha ha! It's sunburn, honest. when you go home with your corned beef legs after a weekend of wine crushing. And the bacteria adds to the fermentation is Ken's theory. Yes, oakiness can really give an earthy musk to some wines with high acidity wines, especially there. Ken's a bit of a wine boffin, wine nerd possibly here, isn't he? I hope he joins us in future editions. Hello, everyone from Gemini. Good evening to you. And Doreen Reyes, this is an interesting question whilst we're enjoying this Dom Rafael or the nearest equivalent. Hola from Doreen in the States. I suffer from sulfite reactions. Portuguese wines have high levels. Can we answer that among us?
Well, I know my wine has sulfur in it, has a warning on it, but what level it is, I have no idea.
This one also has a warning on it. We don't know. The best person to ask would be Alan from Dejo. He would be able to give us the best answer because he's a proper expert on this one.
Yep, sulfites in Portuguese reds, please, Neil, if you could help us with that one. So, I mean, are we already on to the scoring? And I think I know how this is going to go tonight. A very warm reception, a very good choice, Rachel. We are back in the Alentejo, aren't we? You know, it's a great place to be, let's face it. I mean, your visit there recently, did that influence your choice?
We've always loved the wines from Alentejo. But we love all wines.
It's usually between, in our house, it's usually between Alentejo and Douro. But Alentejo more since the time we've been there. And Neil has it's as if he was talking in my ear the entire time about Alentejo wines. So whenever we go, first kind of wines we look at are Alentejo wines. That's thanks to Neil.
And last week I said that I wanted to pick a Douro or a Vinho Verde, but I couldn't find anything. But this one is really, really good.
Okay, Malcolm and Christine, what are you thinking? Let us know, please, because I think we're about to get into the scoring. Gary and Linda, do you have any sort of further pairing ideas or anything else as this is? Because this is what happens, isn't it, in our hour of tasting here? The wine is changing as well in that time. Anything else?
Yeah.
I would like to try this with pheasant to see what it goes like.
Yes.
Well, we've heard you're a pheasant plucker, so you might get round to actually. Yeah, that was a gift to me. That was an underarm googly to me, wasn't it? I battered it out the park.
What is it? I'm not a pheasant plucker. I'm a pheasant plucker's son.
Well said.
Oh, well
said.
done.
After a couple of glasses of red. Hola from New Jersey, from Maria tonight. Hello, Maria. Wish I could have a glass with you all.
Hey,
Yes, we'll raise a glass to you. Yeah, we should do that, shouldn't we? To anyone who's not able to join us with a glass in their hand, we raise a glass to you and we toast towards your adventure and your plans to be here in Portugal and having a drink with us in person one day. We've been pretty happy with the low sulfites in the reds from Portugal, said Steve. So they, excuse me, the different sulfites in my throat. But Doreen, there's a bit of feedback from Steve Welton for you, which is good to know. Thanks for that, Steve. Do we begin the scoring, Rachel?
Yes. So I am very happy with this wine. Definitely is my kind of wine. I like it. I agree with Neil that it will improve with aging. And my score is going to be 4.25.
That's very modest, given the reception you've had here.
Yes, because I think it's going to improve, and because we have had better wines than this, but 4.25, okay, let's say 4.5 then, because we have had great wines, so it's difficult when you have so good wine, then good, very good wines become.
You're too modest, Rachel.
We have been blessed and spoiled, haven't we? Without a doubt. So, yeah, 4.5 from you, Frank.
I'll go a 4.25 on this one. I really like this wine. It's bold. It's the kind of wine that I can have very often during the week. However, I've had slightly better. There's this one wine that I tried that we tried at Neil's place. He's got wonderful wines over there. We tried this wine called Grouse, Grous. If you guys see it on sale, you should pick that one up.
But Grouse is a winemaker. That I guess they have many.
They have many, but the thing is, it just says Grouse on it. It's a white label, and that was one of the most wonderful wines I've had. And there was another one before that. So this one will be a 4.25 for me.
Fair enough. It's good to have a bit of context on that. That doesn't take anything away from it, does it? That just puts it into the larger context of all these wonderful wines we've been tasting and have been treated with. Over to Alvazra. What are you thinking there, score-wise?
I'm going to give it 4.3. I like the flavour of the wine, and it's consistent, but it's quite strong. Got quite a strong flavour, and it's probably a bit too strong a flavour for my tastes. But it's nice. I like it, but I probably wouldn't want to drink a great deal of it.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. How many glasses so far?
Linda, which glass? Yeah, which glass are you on?
This is my first.
First, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That is an indication from Linda. That is an indication.
Right, guys. Let's just think about this for a while, right? With wine, it's not just the taste, but it's the smell as well. And this chap, right, has got the best smell of all the wines we've been through. Nothing has had this depth of smell. It really is a good nose on that one, right? So for me, that gets extra points. So, wait for it. I'm going to give this one a 4.7.
Wow.
All right.
This is me. This wine, this is me.
This is a bit of a curveball in some ways, isn't it? We have 4.8 from down south in Portugal from Malcolm and Christine.
Nice one, Malcolm.
4.8, very good choice, Rachel. Paired it with a good homemade beef burger. Stop it, Malcolm. That sounds great, doesn't it? And like, hats off to you for organising yourselves in such a way that you did this wine tasting and had a homemade burger to go with it. Yeah. Hats off. That is fantastic. To the here from the Alentejo itself, the ambassador of the Alentejo region, really. Unofficial, of course. The actual UK ambassador, I shouldn't get too blotto tonight. I'm actually in the company of the UK ambassador in the morning on the Good Morning Portugal show. So I should be a little bit careful tonight. But yes, from one ambassador to another. Neil, for me, he says, this is a strong 4. However, I am sure opening another bottle in 3 or 4 years, I would think 4.5 easy. There's some long-term thinking from Neil there. So everyone's over a 4 with this, aren't they, basically? Very respectable, very good choice, Rachel. And so hats off to you guys as well for a fantastic choice in Lisbon, looking out into the vast plains of the Alentejo and finding us this fabulous wine. Dom Rafael.
I think that Penny is ready to score very similar to us because she has pretty much the same wine.
Yep. So I'm going to give it a score, Rachel, and it is very, very similar. Very similar grapes, etc. Apart from the stainless steel bit, but I really like this, so I'm going to go for 4.8.
Woo! What an evening! Go on, Penny. Say more.
Well, I love it because it's everything I love about a wine. It's got a strong taste, but it's smooth. It's not too oaky. For me, it's not too heavy on that side. It's just really smooth. Got a great taste. I love it.
Yeah.
Penny, is it just me, or whenever before any of these wine club meetings, you are
I know what you're gonna say.
There's the 2 glass thing, isn't there? For Linda, it's like we know we've reached a certain threshold when you have 2 glasses of wine. That's one after another.
Number two in the pot.
But for Penny, it's 2 glasses simultaneously. Isn't it? The Prosecco has to be the background drink. It's almost like a benchmark.
I actually wanted to know if our Prosecco is in a similar kind of glass or not, and I got my answer.
Matching, but different.
Yes,
Ah,
very stylish, very
very
classy,
nice.
very nice. Okay, I've got not Dom Rafael. I managed to get a Dom Martino with that, and I think the key here, because you've got a little bit of that Alicante Boucher in yours, haven't you, Penny?
Yeah. It says a small amount, which it probably is about the 10% you've got, Rachel, I'd say.
Yeah.
And this is the maybe the common theme here, and maybe what's lighting it up for us. I don't know, but I'm very happy with this. I'm going to go for a 4.25 with the one I've got. It's as much a mark for the region it is for the wine. Again, we're affirming the Alentejo, aren't we? The little thing that comes up for me is that I didn't realise it was a Bacalao wine, and what? Gary, you're right. Gary's like, yeah, okay. Bacalao is a producer that they're huge in Portugal, and they have all these wine tourism destinations, Gary, around the country as well. And I've got
What's up with him tonight?
I don't know, a slight reservation about he's biting his hand to stop himself. He's actually biting himself. Does it pair well with the back of your hand?
Flesh taste. Nice.
Fleshy taste to it. And I just like the whole vibe of going to the local shop. I want to. It's a bit petty in a way, but we've had this conversation before, haven't we, about the massive producers and what that might mean to what happens in the end in the glass, and whether you can sustain huge corporate winemaking with a local friendly taste of wine. And that's the only thing going against it, and it's pure prejudice, because it is a great wine in the glass, and I'm loving the ideas of steak and game and pheasant and burgers, and for me the Don Martino is going to work well on that basis. And I'm just glad to have got to the end of that sentence without Gary cracking me up laughing, basically.
Don't know what you mean.
So, can I ask you a question, Rachel?
Great mark.
Is that how many of the Portuguese wine producers are still hand treading? That is not a but how many of them are still hand treading with their feet?
I don't know, and it's a good question. I will see if I can find out. So this is the interesting thing about this winemaker. I don't think they yield that much. They per year. They just prefer to do it the old way and have less bottles, but the quality is really high. And this is very interesting to me.
That's really nice to see it done the old-fashioned way, the old way.
Yeah. So I watched the YouTube video and with the owner of the winery, and he was saying that from 1901, the only difference is that now they have electricity. Before they did that.
Oh, really?
What do they do with it? Stick it in the vat while they're treading a wine?
That keeps them busy, doesn't it? That will make everyone a bit animated when they've got the mid-afternoon lull.
It works a bit fast. They work faster with the electric in the.
This is the one he was drinking before.
Oh, okay.
The reason I've put that on the screen, our friend in Switzerland, Anna, is drinking this tonight, because I know this was a previous choice. You guys are fans of the Montevideo as well, aren't you? And Anna is drinking that tonight. The Montevideo is a medium body, fruity and easygoing all-rounder. That could be a description of a number of the gentlemen in this group, actually.
Yeah, this is an Esporão, right? Yeah, we've enjoyed that one. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
So there's a Fab Four for that from Anna. Thank you, Anna, for joining us tonight and making sure you've got some Portuguese wine in as well. That's fantastic. So Fab Four, staying in the Alentejo there. Wonderful. And let's see what else. What other comments we've got? Ken, it's always worth having some cheese. High percentage cocoa chocolate, cured meats. They can really help with the flavor profile while tasting a new wine. Well said, Ken. And I often forget about that. I really do. And I think that's worth remembering. Have I got the Ferrero Rocher at the ready? I think that's his prerogative to provide me with the Ferrero Rocher so that I can make that comment, Malcolm. But good shout there. They might well be on offer at the moment. Gaz thinking about going for that swim again.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I always go to local wine over corporate wine. Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's what I've got. Do you know what, guys? I have my bottle for my tasting, which isn't next week, but I think the week after. And I'm keen to know myself whether it is local or corporate or where it is along that spectrum. Still can't beat taking a box wine to a dinner party, says Ken. Well, yeah, you're not invited here then, Ken. You shouldn't have said that. And from Steve, the Big Old Red, which sounds like a Devon wine, doesn't it, Gary? The Big Old Red. Yeah,
Big Old. Big Old Red.
Fancy glass, the Big Old Red.
It's the mustache red.
What's that?
It's the mustache red.
Is that right? Is that what this is known as?
Bigode.
Bigode.
I was reading it's Bigode.
With Brazilian accent, bigode.
Okay. Is that what it actually means then?
Yeah, it's the mustache red.
Mustache red. Thank you for that. So in Portuguese, bigode, and in Brazilian, bigode, which is, Brazilian Portuguese is just so much more sexy, I have to say it. Especially after some glasses of red. Amazing. So back to you in Lisbon. Great selection, great evening. This is right for autumn and winter, isn't it? Oh, get a room, you two. What? Or do I say tenho casa? Carto. Tenho carto. Tenho carto. Anything else from you guys, Rachel and Frank, about this? Now you have the bragging rights.
Yeah, well, I want to tell Neil that I definitely plan on buying a couple bottles, and in 3-4 years we can probably open them together.
Yes. It's one of the things about one of the things that I realized, and once again talking to Captain Alan from Tejo, is that he's very much into, as you said, Carl, laying these wines down, and he's constructing a very nice adega for himself in the basement, and he's going to have like these wines where he will have them for 4 or 5 years or 6 years and even more, and then he'll bring them out. It's a very, very good thing when you kind of figure out which wines are good, because you over here, as we all know, when you go to the grocery stores, you can find a certain wine that used to be 14 or 15 euros 1 week, 70% off, and you can buy it like 5 or 6 of them, and then you can lay them down. So it's very nice to kind of educate ourselves on the different wines, which one lay down very well and which ones stay erect, I guess. Oh, there's Captain Dave.
He's trying.
Trouble with the tackle. Well,
He's
I'm
with us from Mars. What is he doing?
Yay!
Oh, there he is.
Finally.
I won't on air anymore.
You look like you had trouble getting it up there tonight, Neil. But
Yeah,
but,
age or too much red wine, one or the other.
amazing.
Are we on
amazing.
air still or not?
You're definitely on air.
No, are we now?
Yes, we're
Yeah.
definitely on there. Yes.
It's a new laptop, and I've just discovered there's a little tiny button here, which if you press, cuts your camera off.
Oh, I see. Well, that can be handy sometimes, can't it?
All the settings, restarted, reboot, did a Windows update, everything still wasn't working. So it was literally just at the stage of going through the window, and I just saw this little tiny button on the keyboard.
Neil, all you had to do is ask Rita. She would have helped you, I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
No.
You seem pretty remarkably unruffled to me, and it's obviously to stop Google spying on you, isn't it? So that button could be handy. Remember to
Well, there was
turn
a
that
little
off.
up here, which was, if you remember the first time I couldn't get the camera, it was that, which we found. We found that bit out, but now I found there's another button that does that.
Good.
And how would you use
Just
this
like
button? What would you use that button for? What's the purpose of it?
It's the Irish
So
security.
I don't really know why we've got a camera and got 2 ways to cut the screen off. I don't really know, but there we go. Anyway, Rachel, great choice of wine. It's right up my street. You obviously know from what you drunk here and what we've had before. Full-bodied, full of black fruit. I'm still high in alcohol. It almost, you smell it, it's tingling. And Rita said as well, it sort of almost burns her nose, sort of thing. But I opened this 2 hours ago, just to see, and so it's mellowed a lot now. But I still think this has got legs. Definitely got to last for a while, without a doubt. Really good choice.
Lisa is joining us and is amused by your nom de. It's not a nom de plume; it's a nom de drinking, isn't it?
Hi, Lisa.
What we want to see, actually, Neil, is you checking into a hotel as Mr. and Mrs. Tejo one time. Oh, Mrs. MC.
You want evidence?
It'd be fantastic to see you checking in somewhere as Mr. and Mrs. Tejo, and then, the name's Tejo, Alentejo. If you can say that, record it for us one night. That'd be fantastic. And Lisa was saying as well that I noticed from Facebook earlier on that she said previous plagues, which I think is a bit of an overstatement, but she said previous plagues were marked with the drinking of wine and orgies. Does anyone know when that's likely to happen here? We've already started that in Portugal.
Every Saturday evening around ours.
And that's what that's the reputation that the Alentejo has. They've all
it's not very populated here. You've got to be very friendly with the villagers.
Yeah,
that's what happened in Man Cave on Friday evenings.
And the Man Cave as well. Pampas grass, virtual Pampas grass in our virtual garden outside, giving you the nod to what goes on inside. Safiro, thanks for that, Lisa, by the way. Usually, even the small farms have their local small production wines, usually sold at local grocery stores. Yes. And that's our challenge, isn't it? With us spread all over the country, how do we make that happen? The grapes of the year are sold in small amounts. Sometimes they can produce 1 or 2, and that will be barrels there from Safiro. I love all your contributions. A newcomer to what we're doing here, but Safiro, obviously a Portuguese person who gives us a lot of Portuguese intel and background. And we'll be. I talked. I'm assuming him. I talked him into doing an introduction to Portuguese politics, which we'll do one evening as well, because us expats need to know a bit about that. Google eyes and ears everywhere. That's why you've got 2 ways of shutting off your camera, Alan. Neil, you remind me so much of a young Phil Collins. Do you get?
Conversation, Frank. We have this conversation back. We did, didn't we? Many a time. He's actually my dad.
It's a gorilla suit that gives it.
Are we on air now? How many people are we talking
We're
to?
definitely on. We're live, and I don't know. It's just something in the air tonight, isn't there?
I'm not pulling a prank. I swear to God, this is a real person.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. But now you mentioned it, Lisa. My tip.
I think Phil Collins is extremely handsome, personally.
Agreed. And an easy lover as well. My tip.
I'm gonna try that.
John's sharing a tip with us, everybody. My tip, signature. Gold Kingfisher on a dark grey label. It's an evening of grey labels. Alentejo Red Sold in Continent. Terrific wine for the money. So there's a little tip for us. Guarda Rios. Thank you. That's the Guarda River, I'm guessing there, John. Thank you very much for that. And where are we? Combining the supermarket and wine subjects. Seems our oldie here will have a promotion of some Portuguese wines. Any of them decent. Entre Quintas 2017 Douro. Cardal 2018 Tejo, and a white Alentejo. Vidiguera, we've been there, haven't we? To the producer.
Yes.
And Phil Collins, that is a classic. So it just remains for people to weave in any Phil Collins tracks that they know of into the conversation. Please feel free. Lisa, I love Phil Collins. Saw him from the front row in 1982. So do people throw their knickers at you, Neil, while you're walking down the street?
I prefer Jason Statham.
Yeah, true. No, I can see that. But knickers are knickers, aren't they? If they get chucked at you in the street, knickers are knickers. Rachel,
I just, I just want to answer Anna that we went with Neil and Rita to Vidigueira, and we really liked. I really like the white. That is the monovarietal Antão Vaz.
Yes.
That was really nice.
That's a red, isn't it?
It's this one. What's that?
Right. Okay. So moving on.
I don't know. I don't want to get up.
Where? What's that
Can we have
class three,
scores
Linda?
for Neil's wine cellar, by the way? Because at the moment, most people I see on the television with cellars have got basically baked beans, water, and guns in them.
Yeah.
So I'm up for Neil's cellar.
Yes.
No,
okay.
you will have a very, you will have a
Now,
whatever,
room under the
based on what I've
stairs.
seen, it's an amazing
You've
one.
had to make do.
Is it chilled? And are your cigars in there as well, Neil?
Chilled, it's bloody freezing.
Yes, okay. It's that time of year, isn't it? Are you a cigar man as well? Are you laying other commodities down?
No, not really.
Okay, that's a conversation stopper.
Yeah. I'll have a cigar every now and then, but yeah, usually on a special occasion or if I've been drinking too much. But that's
Or
about
celebrating
it. I love the smell of cigars, and I do like a puff. Rita's not keen on the smell. Tends to linger.
Gary.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Casting a glance towards who's up next Thursday? It's you, isn't it, Neil?
We are, and I'm going to go on holiday out of the Alentejo up to the Douro, and a wine that was referred to me by Rita's niece's fiance, who's into his wine. He's from the Alentejo, but they're living in London at the moment. And he's recommended a wine to me, so I'm going to endeavour to get that first from the Douro over the weekend, and then let you guys know as soon as possible. I know the name of it, but I need to be sure. It's a Vina Grande, so I need to confirm it first. But yeah, we're going up to the Douro again next week, hopefully. Fingers crossed. If not, I'll choose something out and let you know.
Great. Okay, looking forward to that. I can announce mine as well the week after, and it will be this. Have we been to the Dow region yet?
Yeah.
We have one.
Once.
Okay, well, we're going back there.
It's quite a light wine. Is it? Usually, is it only like 13% or something?
13 and a half. Yep, the Quinta de Fata. So that's
I like the label, Carl.
Me too. That's what attracted me to it. It looks classy, doesn't it? It doesn't look like a massive producer because I'm still kind of interested in that vibe, along that spectrum of very small to corporate. So I'll find out more about that. But I'll put that in our community group so that you'll get a chance to track that down.
I can see a lovely reflection of your ring light.
The other day, Carl, something Velia, something old. What was that? Old Pope or something.
Behave.
I can see a lovely reflection of your ring light in that, Carl.
Yes,
it's like a little. It's like a little halo. It's like almost half a mistron.
It has been said. I mean, it's not quite the sun shining out of it, but it's a close second, isn't it? Neil, sorry, we were being silly.
Sorry, Neil.
So I don't know. What was I saying? Oh, I think I was talking to myself.
I think, were you responding to the small producer to corporate spectrum, possibly?
Spectrum in the Mistron. That's what Gareth is.
That's the one. There's the link.
Something about you showed a bottle of wine the other day. Something Velia, something old. What was it?
Oh yeah. The
or you would.
That's Velia. That's the other bottle on my desk.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
Yeah, I was going to go with this because it was $8.99 down to $2.89 as a massive markdown in Continental. Maybe buy it anyway. This Ribatejo wine, it was good, but I just, when I was tasting, I was thinking, is it good enough for my wine ninja buddies? And I thought it isn't. It tasted a bit kind of porty. and it's kind of, it needs laying down, possibly not in a good way. I don't know. It didn't
laying down for good.
No, I mean, it will improve. It'll
How do you
improve.
buy something done in a bad way?
No, because you want a good wine's going to be nice now and better laid down, isn't it? And if it's a wine where you're thinking, that's all right, let's lay it down and see what happens. That's not the ultimate accolade for a wine, is it?
Did it have the tannin still in it or not, or was it just smooth, bland? Or
No, it was quite not aggressive. It was a bit of a show off. A bit of a show off. And then I was getting, as I was drinking it, I mean, we've had 2 bottles here, so it can't be that bad, but it was getting a bit of a port kind of vibe. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I was,
high alcohol content?
No, only 13.5.
Wow.
I mean, I'd love you guys to try it, because there's some. I find the communal tasting brings a whole new experience to drinking alone. So
I'm a fag.
At least no one disagrees with you when you drink alone.
That's true. But if they do, then you really are in trouble, right? If it's just you there and you get upset, you're obviously the culprit. Ha Cigars, Davidoff number 2, can't go wrong. I think when Ken gets to Portugal, we're going to have some interesting weekends with this young fella, aren't we? And a Ken Partargas number 4. Is that a cigar, Anna? Are you a lady cigar smoker? Is that what that is? A Ken Partargas?
I think so. I don't know. It sounds like a cigar, man.
It sounds like another string to Anna's Bon Viveur bow, doesn't it? For sure.
Yeah.
And Ken, oh yes, I had one of them once. Good call. So yes, they're talking cigars, number 2s and number 4s. Nothing like a good number 2, is there? Occasionally. So thank you for that, both Anna and Ken. Concluding comments. Anything else as the wine's changing character before our very eyes?
We found it's mellowed a lot. I mean, I opened mine at 7 o'clock, so
it really sounds empty to me.
Ours is finished now, so but we opened ours at 7. Really good, and it has changed now. Certainly the acidity and the alcohol, which is I found it really quite aggressive to be honest. When I started it was really quite aggressive. It's really mellowed down now. Maybe it's so strong in alcohol it just evaporates. I don't know, but it's certainly mellowed now, without a doubt. Much nicer, without a doubt.
Does that change your score?
Yeah, 4.1.
Yes, there's a kind of graph, isn't there?
It's nice. You know me, 4 is good for me.
That's true. The wine's running out, but the score's going up. That's the Tejo curve.
The more I drink, the more dribble comes out. So.
We didn't like to say. So back to our hosts for the evening, our leaders, Rachel and Frank. You just look like you're sat there all contented and mellow. So like mission accomplished, really.
Yeah, we're waiting for the lockdown to start because we're done with this.
What are you moving on to, may I ask?
After party.
The after party at Guardent with Neil bringing on. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, all right. And Penny's.
I'm sorry, guys. If you want to join us, this is one of the things we do afterwards.
Yep, the lockdown lock-in at 10 o'clock.
It's all work, isn't it? We debate the show and look at numbers and discuss things in detail, and there's no frivolity going.
No, it's really serious sometimes, isn't it?
Right.
Like, big issues, and big. And he's ready tonight. I think sort of training. Quite right too. So yes, do join us again next Thursday when Neil will announce his selection from the Douro. You say?
Yeah, hopefully we're going out to the Douro.
An away match, lots to choose from in the Alentejo, obviously, but an away match with the Douro. thanks to everybody who tuned in tonight. I'm thinking maybe we should have a cigar club as well, but that would probably get us in a hell of a lot of trouble.
Cigar club should be in the man cave club. Surely should be.
It should be part of the man cave. Anna seems to know a thing or two about cigars. Do you want to do a man cave masterclass, Anna, for the Expat Man Cave? Teach us about cigars. Could be interesting.
I always said that the best cigars were rolled on the thigh of a virgin, the leaf. Is that right or not?
It's really wrong.
As long as he's a good-looking virgin, I don't mind.
Very well said. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Very good.
I think that's virgin on the.
Okay. Well, Atayamanya probably seems like the only appropriate thing to say right now. I will be here in a much more serious disposition, I think, with the British ambassador to Portugal in the morning with his message for the people of Her Majesty's Great Britain and United Kingdom who are resident in Portugal. So that would be you, Neil, and you, Gary and Linda, and Penny is as kind of possible. So join us for that. And of course, tomorrow night, the Expat Man Cave.
Is this on Good Morning Portugal tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning with the ambassador, yeah.
I've missed it all week, so we've been really busy, but tomorrow should be okay.
Well, he's got a message for us all. Anna hasn't said yes yet to the Man Cave Masterclass talking about cigars. Boa noite all from Steve. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, everybody. And Anna's not addressing my question at all. Thanks, guys. Fun evening. So, we'll take that as a no. We'll take that as a no. Fair play. Ken, I will be there in the morning. Great, Ken. And I think you'll be good company in our Expat Man Cave as well tomorrow night from 10, where it's basically a virtual local where we get in and process the activities of the week. Men of a certain age having a drink, talking rubbish. And last week, 2.5 hours of it. It was quite an epic, wasn't it? Gary,
what happened? We'll talk later.
No, there was nothing. It was nothing untoward. It was just we couldn't get enough of the sound of our own voices. For 2.5 hours.
It was quite free flowing, wasn't it? Quite relaxed,
free flowing like Portuguese wine. It was fantastic. So, boa noite to everybody. We're off to the lockdown lock-in now, and we'll see you again for the wine club next Thursday night. Let's raise our glasses to everybody. So, chin chin.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
A chin chin and a ciao ciao from me.